So, welcome students. So, today's session is about energy resources in geography, the fourth unit. The resources from which the electricity generated are called as energy resources. So, we have already learnt what is a resource. A resource is a place from where you get several other products. Okay. So, electricity is an important component of our life. So, without electricity there is no life, you already know that. No day to day activity takes without the use of this energy. It is also the key factor, that means the main reason for all economic activities and industrial developments. Energy resources can be classified into two types. One is renewable and the other one is non-renewable. So, when we say renewable, it is like produced again and again, it is like a cycle. Non-renewable, it cannot be. Okay. Coal, petroleum, natural gas and nuclear minerals are the sources of non-renewable energy. So, these are the sources. What are the four sources? Coal, petroleum, natural gas and nuclear minerals. Whereas water, sunlight, wind, biogas, tides, that is from waves, etc. are the sources of renewable energy. That means you can keep getting. Water is always renewable, right? It doesn't get as long as we have rains, we just get water again and again. Sunlight is also like that. Non-renewable energy resources. The first one is coal. Coal is an inflammable organic substance composed mainly of hydrocarbons. So, what do I mean by hydrocarbons? It is an organic substance which is made up of hydrogen and carbon. So, it is an inflammable. Inflammable means it is a burning capacity, it has got burning feature, whereas inflammable not burning. Coal is available in the form of sedimentary rocks. So, if you see coal, it is in the kind of sedimentary rocks. It is used in the generation of thermal power. Thermal is heat, okay, that is thermal power. It has close association with the industrial development of any country. It is, since it is a valuable one, it is called as black gold based on the carbon content. So, as I told you, it is a hydrocarbon, so it has got carbon content. It is classified into four types. Anthracite, which means it has got 80 to 90% of carbon, bituminous, which is 60 to 80%, lignite, which is 40 to 60%, peat, which is less than 40%. Coal is an important source of energy in India with its varied and innumerable uses. So, it has got lots and lots of uses. It can be converted into gas, it can be converted into oil, it can be converted into electricity and thermal power, which is heat power. Besides, it forms a basic raw material for the production of chemicals. So, when they need to produce chemicals, they use coal as a basic raw material for dyes, for fertilizers, paints, synthetics and explosives like bombs. Indian coal is mostly associated with Gondwana series of rocks. This is a kind of rock and it is primarily found in peninsular India. The states of Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh alone, they account for nearly 90% of coal reserves of the country. So, these states that we have learnt here, they give us around 90% of the coal that India needs. About 2% of India's coal is of tertiary type and is found mostly in Assam and Jammu and Kashmir. And then we move on to Jharkhand is the largest coal, it is the largest coal producing state in the country after followed by Odisha, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra. Indian lignite, that is brown coal deposit, occur in the southern and western parts of peninsular India, particularly in Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Kerala. So, where do we get brown coal? We get it in the south part of India, which is Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Kerala. The Ministry of Coal has overall responsibility of determining policies and strategies in respect of exploration and development of coal resources in India. So, the Ministry of Coal, it is taking steps to find out new places where you can get coal, and they are also trying to develop that coal resources. Coal India Limited, that is CIL, NLC India Limited and Singeri Collieries Company Limited are its public sector undertakings. So these are the companies which are involved in the production of coal. Petroleum or crude oil. So we all know that petroleum is otherwise called as a crude oil. The word petroleum has been derived from two Latin words meaning rock and oleum. Petro means rock, oleum means oil. Thus petroleum is obtained from rocks of earth. Thus petroleum is oil, that is actually a mistake. Thus petroleum oil is obtained from rocks and of the earth. Therefore it is called mineral oil. So where do we get petroleum? From the oil that is obtained from rocks of the earth. Petroleum is an inflammable liquid that is composed of hydrocarbons which constitute 90 to 95% of petroleum, and the remaining is chiefly organic compounds containing oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur and traces of organic metallic compounds. So 90 to 95% we have hydrocarbons, the remaining is made up of oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur and small traces, small quantities of organic metallic compounds. The next we move on to petroleum is used as a source of power and fuel for automobiles, aeroplanes, ships and locomotives, lubricants, kerosene, Vaseline tar, raptoline and wax are its byproducts. So here you can know already petroleum we use it as a fuel for our bikes or cars. So automobiles, it is used as a fuel for aeroplanes, ships and locomotives, lubricants, kerosene, Vaseline, tar and all these are byproducts. Oil in India is obtained from both from onshore and offshore, that is onshore, that is on parts of sea, and off from away from sea. Natural gas. Natural gas usually accompanies the petroleum accumulation. Accumulation is where you gather petroleum, that's called accumulation. So wherever you gather petroleum, natural gas is also found. It is naturally occurring hydrocarbon. So it's a naturally occurring hydrocarbon mixture of gas consisting primarily of methane. So this is an organic substance called methane, but commonly includes various amounts of other higher alkenes and sometimes a small percentage of carbon dioxide, nitrogen and hydrogen sulfides. It is formed when layers of decomposed plants and animals are exposed to intense heat and pressure over thousands of years. So this is very interesting. So how do we get natural gas? When layers of decomposed plants, that is dead plants and animals, when they are exposed, when they are shown to intense deep heat and pressure over thousands of years, we get this natural gas. It is used as a source of energy for heating, cooking and electricity generation. Generation means producing. It is also used as fuel for vehicles and as a chemical feedstock in the manufacture of plastic and other commercially important organic chemicals. So they use it as a chemical stuff also. India has a very large portion of tertiary rock and alluvial deposits, particularly in the extra-peninsular India. These sedimentary rocks, which were once under the shallow sea, hold the possibility of harboring oil and gas deposits. The highest concentration of natural gas is found in Mumbai high and basin of fields, Gujarat, Assam. We have Gujarat, Assam, Neipattalur, Mangadam in Tanjavur district in Tamil Nadu, Tirupura, Rajasthan, Arunachal Pradesh, Punjab, West Bengal and other areas where natural gas reserves have been discovered. So these are the places where you are able to get natural gases. The next one we have conventional energy sources. Conventional is not the modern one, the already existing methods, the normal methods are called as conventional energy sources. Thermal power. So thermal means heat, as I told you, is generated using fossil fuels like coal, diesel, petroleum and um, natural gas. Natural Thermal Power Corporation, that is NTPC, was established in 1975. At present, NTPC has 13 coal-based super thermal power projects and 7 gas or liquid fuel-based combined projects, cycle projects in the states of Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Mizoram, and West Bengal. Neyveli. Okay, so these are how many places they have. At present there are 13 coal-based superpowers power projects and 7 are based on liquid fuel or gas fuel. Neyveli, Mettur, Thuthukudi and Ennur, that's in Chennai, are the most important important thermal power stations in Tamil Nadu. So this is very important. Nuclear power. The energy released during nuclear fission. Fission is when the atoms, or when they split, or the nucleus splits, it's called as fission, and fusion is when they join together, it's called fusion. The energy released during nuclear fission or fusion is used to generate electricity. So we all know that, right? Nuclear energy is generally mainly from the minerals of uranium and thorium. So two atoms, or we have uranium and thorium. From these two we get most of the nuclear energy. The first nuclear power station was set up in Tarapur near Mumbai in 1969. So nuclear power station first was set up in Mumbai. Later atomic reactors, that is with respect to atoms, were installed at Ravabata, which is 335 million electron volts or megavolts, near Kota in Rajasthan, which is 100, Kalpakam 440 megawatts, and Kudakulam 2000 megawatts in Tamil Nadu, and Narora, which is 235 million watts in Uttar Pradesh, Kaiga in Karnataka, and Karapara in Gujarat. The next one is renewable energy resources. Renewable, I already told you that it can be cycled again and again. So hydropower. Hydro, power generated from water. So from water, hydro, we call it hydro, is termed as hydroelectricity. Hydropower is the energy got from running water. So how do we get electricity? When water flows, we can generate electricity. Hydropower is considered as one of the most economic and non-polluting sources of energy. It contributes nearly 7% of global electricity production. The cost of production of hydroelectricity is relatively low, making it a competitive source of renewable energy. So the cost for producing this is very low. It is also a flexible mode power generation, as the quantity of production can either be increased or decreased very quickly, adapting to changing demand. So here you can either increase the production or you can also reduce the production depending upon the need that you have. Solar means sun. Solar energy is the conversion of sunlight into electricity, either directly using photovoltaics, which is called PV, or indirectly using concentrated solar power, which is CSP. What do you mean by concentrated solar power system? It uses lenses or mirrors and a tracking system to focus a large area of sunlight into a small beam. So sunlight which is focused in all directions, it is made to fall into a certain place using a lens or a mirror, and from that they can extract electricity. Photovoltaics, photo means light, converts light into an electric current using the photovoltaic effect. The mass objectives, that means the main objectives of the solar thermal energy program being implemented by the Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Source MNES are market development, commercialization and utilization of heat energy requirement of different applications in domestic, institutional and industrial sectors. So the main reason was of this solar energy was implemented by the Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy. They did development, they did commercialization, and also they had to work on the utilization. They had to think about the requirements for its applications as well. Solar power is used in water heaters, refrigerators, drying, street lighting, cooking, pumping, power generator, photovoltaic cells, saloon parts, etc. Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh are the major solar power producers. Wind energy. Wind energy is extracted, that means it is got from air which flows using wind turbines. You would have seen when you go down south, there will be a lot of wind turbines, like fan wings it will be, where it takes in all the wind and it converts it into energy. It is a cheap and pollution free source of energy. Power from windmills are used for pumping water and to sail propel ships. Wind power is plentiful, renewable, widely distributed, clean and produces no green gas emissions during operation. So why wind power is very useful is you get it in lots, plentiful, renewable, you can renew it again and again, distributed, and there is no pollution. Okay. The development of wind power in India began in 1986 with first wind farms were set up in coastal areas of Gujarat, so Okha, Maharashtra, Ratnagiri and Tamil Nadu, which is Thoothukudi, with 55 kilowatts Vestas wind turbines. So this is the development of wind power in India. The capacity has significantly increased in the last few years. India has the fourth largest installed wind power capacity of the world itself. We stand fourth. Biomass energy. Bioenergy may be obtained through biodegradable materials like animal dung, that is the waste of animal. Okay, so in olden days if you see, they even use this to cook their own meals. So that's animal dung. Kitchen waste that we throw from, water harnath, agricultural residues and city waste, all these are converted into biomass energy. It is clean and a cheap source of energy. Energy derived, that means got from biomass, is mostly used for domestic purposes, that means for houses. In houses we use it. Tidal and wave energy. Tides is from the sea that we get, so that's called tides. Okay, the on and froth of waves are called as tides. There are two main sources of ocean energy. There are ocean tides and ocean waves. The Gulf of Cambay is the best suited area for tidal energy. This is followed by the Gulf of Kutch, which has got 1000 million volts, and Sundarban's 1000 megawatts. I'm sorry, not million volts, megawatts. And wave energy power plant of 150 kilowatts maximum has been installed at Vilizam. That's a place in Thiruvananthapuram, and another plant of this kind has been set up near Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So here we have two places, one at Thiruvananthapuram we have, and there is another one which is set up at Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So go through this part of the lesson.